Hello, welcome to Prequel, Sequel, Requel, the show where we pick a film or a franchise and give it a prequel, a sequel, and a requel with a panel of comedians and movie lovers. Tonight we're doing a film called Hackers. It's a technological marvel. If I do say so myself, 1995 this film came out, and our guest this evening picked it for us, so great to watch again. We'll deal with all that in a second though. First of all, tonight, let's bring our panel straight in one at a time. Let's get on with this show. First of all, he's a regular panelist here every week. He's your friend and mine. He's Eddie French.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I've been enjoying hacking the world.
Yeah, the technology of this film's amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great to watch. A lot of skateboard action as well, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure, later.
Even better, it was rollerblading.
Rollerblading, there was a skateboard though as well.
I
wrote it down for later so I don't forget.
I forget
because there was an amazing scene I want to talk about later, but we'll get there. I'm very excited.
We'll get there, yeah. No, it is. I haven't seen you this excited. I think it's because you hadn't seen this film before.
No,
I'm
honestly,
so excited. It's like fresh to you.
I mean, before we came on, I had a quick rundown, didn't I, of 1995 films, and there were loads at the cinema in 1995, and I worked at the cinema at that time, so I think it just missed out at coming to our cinema. So I don't know. Odeon in Leeds should have had it. But anyway, they'd have stuck it in Odeon 5. Nobody would have seen it, unfortunately, because they had Braveheart in number 1. Anyway,
well, yeah.
Speaking of brave hearts, it's our next panelist this evening. She's here every week, regular panelist. It's your friend and mine. It's Natalie Smeaton.
That has got to be your best link yet to me.
That was a better one tonight, wasn't it? That was I made the effort tonight with that one because I've let you down so many times. How's your week been? You all right?
You know what? It's been a busy week and weekend, but I've had a lovely busy week and weekend. So it's good. It's good. And I had never seen this film before either.
Wow.
It did remind me how desperately uncool I've been my entire life, though.
You've never hacked a mainframe system?
Any mainframe. I've never even hacked a small frame system or a Nintendo or anything. I can't wear those type of clothes. I've never lived in New York.
I used to game Genie.
I've got to say, I did feel very uncool as well. I was like, I'd have never done this. I'm not going swimming on top of a building.
No.
That's never been proposed to me before.
I'll never be as cool as a wet Johnny Lee Miller.
Or a frankly
who would be
fantastic Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, good cast. Right then, let's bring our special guest in. We always have a special guest every week who come along and bring the film. And tonight, Eddie pulled out all the stops for us this evening. We got him to thank for this guest. He rang his people. They rang her people. He sorted it all out for us. It's fantastic.
Tracked her down on a mountain.
We've got, what can I say? Comedian, writer, actress. It's Bethany Black, everybody.
Hey! Oh, yeah.
Hello, you all right?
You're right.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Are you all right? How's your week been?
It's been good so far. I mean, Monday, so you know.
I forget.
Monday, I've managed to miss 3 deadlines already, so you know, it's doing all right.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show. You're here for a treat. This film was a real treat. It was great.
I've been so excited about this. But the second that Eddie asked, he went, "Oh, if you can try and pick a film, and hopefully people won't have picked it before," and I was like, Have you done Ian Softly's 1995 cinematic masterpiece Hackers yet? He went, no, we haven't. I was like, right, I'm on that.
Brilliant, yeah, great choice. Absolutely. I should start.
It felt like Beth had started typing the answer before I'd said, "Is there a film you'd like to do?" Like you just knew, like, I am doing Hackers, by the way. Yeah. Everyone else. Keep their hands off Hackers, thanks.
Yeah, fine.
Well, there's a film I always want to do on this show, and they won't let me, and it's called Loch Ness with Ted Danson. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
yes.
Wonderful film.
Your friends for life now.
Right.
When you come back, we'll do Loch Ness.
Yeah, let's do Loch Ness next.
Oh my God, you made my night already.
So next week, Loch Ness.
Next week. Yeah. Let's leave it. We'll leave Chris anticipating it more.
Well, I bought these two a copy of Loch Ness for one Christmas, and Natalie reckons that her disc fell out of the thing and scratched, so it was unwatchable.
He handed me it, and you could hear it rattling about in the box. I thought that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
It's still rattling about in the box. It won't work. It's all scratched. I've told him this. He hasn't replaced it. I'm not buying it. He needs to get me a new one. That's all I'm saying.
Those were the last two DVDs of Loch Ness that were ever made.
Yeah.
I've got it on Blu-ray.
Seriously, they've done a Blu-ray of it.
Seriously, I've got it on Bluray. If it's down there,
I'm having to check if it's on Prime.
I've got it down there. I'll go grab it in a second and show you. Right then, okay.
When I look at my phone, I do this. I do that sort of stuff.
If you're watching online, thanks for joining us. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're going out live today. Leave a comment if you want to join in with the show. We will be giving you a vote after each round we do. So if you've never seen the show before, very quickly, these guys are all going to pitch a prequel, a sequel, and a requel to the film Hackers. We'll do it one round at a time. After each person pitches their pitch, the other two people get to ask a question. I think that made sense. Yeah. To put them on the spot. There we go. But first of all, before we get started, I'm going to read you the DVD box for Hackers. Back in the day, this is how they sold you the film. Are you ready for this one?
Oh,
get ready. It's a good one, this one. Boot up for suspense and high-powered excitement as the rebels of the information age fight an electrifying battle in this sharp, cutting-edge adventure pulsating with non-stop action and nail-biting tension. Hackers is a hip, fast-paced spectacle. Right. While practicing the tricks of the trade, a neophyte hacker accomplishes the nearly impossible. He hacks the highly secured computer at the Ellinson Mineral Corporation, but in doing so, he unknowingly taps into a high-tech embezzling scheme masked by a computer virus with the potential to destroy the world's ecosystem. And when the young hacker and his pals are targeted for the crime, the group must launch a massive cyberspace attack, one that will hopefully clear their names and prevent ecological disaster.
Oh, snappy, you say.
Chris, you aren't even cool enough to read that.
I know, I got stuck. I read it before I did it. I still got does anybody know what that word means? I had to look it up. Neophyte.
Neophyte. Yeah, it's well, neo meaning new, and fight meaning person.
Yeah, it said like new.
Someone who's into new technology,
new skill, and that. Yeah,
new skill.
But I did have to look it up. I thought, why didn't they put something else? But it don't matter. Anyway, something I could read. I know
that copy, that intricate youth speak copy, was part of the test, and you failed it, Grandad.
It was. I know it was. Oh, what's all these words?
Oh, dear.
I don't understand this new technology. Some of the computers in this
one day we just used to sit around and have a look at a nice bar of carbolic.
Angelina Jolie's right now hacking into some computer and calling you both deceased for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Now.
There was a good cast in this, and I noticed that a guy called Wendell Pierce, who was Agent Dick Gill. And I watched he's in that Jack Ryan series at the moment on Amazon Prime. Really good, I like him.
He's also like one of the main characters in The Wire as well.
Really?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's one of the main. He's one of the main detectives. He's Bunk in The Wire.
Cool, excellent. And there was Penn Jillette as well in it, wasn't there?
He was. I was very like a 15-second moment of Penn there.
Yeah, like wow.
For about a minute overall. It's got like 3 scenes, but it does all right.
It was good.
Love him.
Right then, let's
Matthew Lillard playing every character he ever plays.
Yeah.
Very,
was
very
that must be the first thing he were in, was it? Was that the one what launched his?
It must be.
Brand?
No, I think he was in a couple of things He was in a couple of things before that. He was in that, and then he was immediately following that. He was in Scream.
Right.
And that was like Scream was
SLC Punk was around that time as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so he was in like half a dozen things around about then. I think he was like a child, but he's one of those people who like looked like he was 12 for about 15 years, and then disappeared for 2 years, and came back and looked like he drunk from the wrong cup in the Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail. You know what I mean? How the fuck did that happen so quickly? It's wonderful.
His youthful genes just gave out on holiday and just came back. What?
Yeah, he did both the Scooby-Doo films. Then he was in 13 Ghosts. Then disappeared for about 5 years and came back, and he was middle-aged suddenly.
Wow.
Great.
Amazing. Right then, let's crack on with the first round this evening. So it's the prequels first of all. Eddie, you're up first. We'll mix it up as we go. So I'll give you a minute on my clock.
Thank you.
Have to stick to the minute. You don't have to stick to the minute. It's all right. It's fine. It's just for sure. Right then, I'll let you go for it. Let's hear what you got to say.
Okay, so my prequel. A floppy disk flies across the room. Blade catches it and puts it into the computer in front of him. He uses the virus on it to hack into another computer. Another screen appears, flashing the sign, "You sniff butts" on it. On the other side of the computer lab, a nerd looks at the bum message, confused. Razor and Blade high five. This is because Razor and Blade continue their junior high career of hacking to gain better grades, access to cool places, get themselves put on the guest lists, and subscriptions to computer magazines and the like. And so they're sorting this out. They're brothers in this. I've either continued the continuity or retconned it. I don't think it's even mentioned whether they're related or not, but they are, because it's cuter this way. So they're discovered by their father. It's more convenient for this scene as well. If they're discovered by their father, who's very disappointed and tells them that they can't just take stuff, they can't just access things, they can't cheat throughout life. They need to work to get what they want, and that's how life is. The last thing you see is him hammering the table with his fists and says, "Oh, you hack this, you hack that, but you can't hack the world. Challenge accepted."
Can I just let you know, you've said this a number of times, but the catchphrase is "hack the planet."
Yeah, I know. It is.
It is. Right then, so that's Eddie's prequel pitch. So Beth and Nat, you can ask Eddie a question, anything you like, to try and put him on the spot with his watertight description there.
Okay, so I do have a question.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that struck me about watching the original film was the costume, which I thought was wonderful. Are you going to carry on similar themes where we have that, like, I don't even know what that was. Was it like a industrial punk modern mashup?
Cyberpunk, isn't it?
Cyberpunk, yeah. Was it like?
Speaking, yeah.
Are you going to follow that? Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was going to say, because like there's a couple of the outfits in there that are original sort of Vivienne Westwood 1976 from Seditionary shop, the parachute top that Kate wears in one of the scenes. Sorry, I fucking love this film.
Yeah, in that case, yeah.
Pen friends with the wardrobe mistress, apparently.
Which designers, Eddie, are you going to use in this film, and are you going to stick to that same theme?
I mean, Auntie Viv still designs from time to time, or did she pass? I can't remember, but no, she's still going. I think, I'd like to get some of the illustrators from like the cyberpunk RPG, the role-playing game books, like the rule books and stuff, all the stuff that was sort of influenced by like William Gibson and and all that kind of thing. So essentially it would be like, it's a bit like how steampunk now, you just take an ordinary blazer, make it look like it's made of metal and put some brass on it. It's going to be like that, only the brass has holes in it. So it's like instead of having like a handkerchief sticking out of the pocket, it's just like some chicken wire mesh sticking out the top of it and stuff like that. And I think that because Razor and Blade were two of the more sartorially interesting characters in it. All the others were wearing sort of regular clothes in sort of weird combinations, but these two, I think one of them was wearing like a sort of red PVC number and stuff like that. So I want them to be wearing that, but in junior high. So everyone else is just sort of wearing like I imagine.
Can I just jump in? Razor and Blade were the two hackers who had the TV show, right? There was a scene, there was a point in that where they went a bit Jedward when they were on the stage. Will we have any influences or be inspired by Jedward at any point?
Actually, Jedward in a way are kind of cyberpunk. There is something sort of futuristic and dystopian about them. So yeah, maybe. Fair enough. Yeah. No, so they do actually fall into that category. So I'll keep Jedward. They'll be in it.
All right, cool. Beth, have you got a question for Eddie?
Yeah, sure. Where are you going to be setting this? What locale will you choose for this?
I think it's going to be in New York, but I think it'll be more suburban,
right?
Because I get the impression that, well, in my sort of version of it, they are sort of well-off kids in that they're pretty well off because they've had access to computers at home. So I think I'm near where the X-Men have their school, which is
Westchester,
Westchester,
New York.
Yeah, upstate, sort of suburban, quite leafy, quite calm and
how
pleasant.
odd of me to know that.
Yeah, of all things. So that's where I'm going to put them. So they can have sort of quite. But then when they go to the city, when they're a bit older, they're suddenly, they're like, oh wow, we can totally freak out and enjoy ourselves that way.
Cool. All right, nice one. We'll move on. I'll just do some quick comments because we've got a few comments here. Better before it gets too ahead of itself. Before we move on to Nats. Have a great show, everyone. I always get Hackers mixed up with Robert Redford film Sneakers. Yeah, I've seen that one.
1992. It's a great film as well. That one is currently available on Amazon Prime. You can watch that for free. Fantastic. Right. Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd, River Phoenix is in it.
Wow.
It's absolutely fucking wonderful. It's like the other really good hacker film from the 90s.
Nice. Okay. I think I have actually seen that one. Yeah. Hack the Planet.
Hack the Planet. Hey, Big Timor.
Yeah, 2021. Yeah. On NFT.
On a similar note to the Robert Redford film, I mentioned that we were doing Hackers this week to someone, and they said, "Oh," and they started asking questions, and it turned out they were thinking of the film Sleepers, which is a very
that is a very different film.
That is. Well, that's weird because I always used to get Sneakers and Sleepers, the movies, mixed up. and very different theme and content.
Yeah, they are. Martin's back. Hello, Martin.
Hey,
I
Martin.
described it as how the film about how Robert De Niro became a priest.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Look at this. Oh, there we go. We got some Loch Ness love straight away. I knew it'd be a good one to do. They doubted me all the time about Loch Ness. So like, no way. Nobody's seen it. Everybody's wanting it now. It's right. Okay. I think So we'll move on. Natalie, it's your turn, please.
Okay.
Your prequel. Let's see what you've got. Go for it.
Being a Penn and Teller fan, I have based mine on Hal, who was Penn's character. Okay. Hal wants it all. The nice house, the flashy cars, and all the 5-star dining he can eat. The trouble is his boss, Eugene, is an irritating computer genius who probably won't be going anywhere soon. Hal realizes he has to hatch a plan. So he starts to do some Darren Brown shit on Eugene, like replacing different words with the word worm and leaving gummy worms around the office and looking up and then leaving open websites saying how to spend 25 million quid. He does this until Eugene thinks he has come up with a brilliant idea to hack his own company. And once Hal's reeled him in, he did some other Darren Brown style shit to some kid called Joey, like walking past him and going, hack, Ellison, minerals, and sending him minerals in the post and adverts for minerals until he hacks Ellison's and sets off the chain reaction, which eventually gets Eugene fired and Hal promoted to his position. There you go. That is my prequel.
Okay.
So it sort of starts before the movie, and then you see the end of the movie is Hackers, so it'll be a much shorter version where we watch.
Oh, you've made a mid-call.
The fall of Eugene. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, Beth and Eddie, you can ask Nat a question then of your choosing. Obviously, I don't know why I always say that. Somebody else is choosing.
You may ask one of these pre-approved questions. Have you had a nice day, Nat?
Question that I can ask. No, she's not. She's just sat there licking her ass.
Would that we could all? So, is Teller going to feature in this?
Well,
because you said you're a fan of Penn and Teller. And,
I am.
Teller's done some acting work as well.
I would like him to in sort of those, those background roles. So
non-speaking role.
Yes, thank you. I think we should find out that he is the one that's depositing like the gummy worms. So he's in cahoots with Penn, obviously. So Teller is maybe the one that's dressed as the cleaner and then just leaves gummy worms around, or he's the one that's the office temp or intern who leaves the how to spend 25 million quid website open
He's the Dana Carvey master of disguise.
Yes, yes. So they're working together, but we never really see the full extent of his impact on this plan until there is a montage at the end. So when Eugene is being handcuffed on the plane and he realizes who set him up, you suddenly see a flashback to all the times that he appeared in different disguises in various parts of his life, pushing him towards creating this worm and then planting it.
The usual hackers. Yeah.
Kaiser Soze. How it always happens, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Kaiser Soze, the motherfucker. Yeah, I like
absolutely. That. Yeah. There's going to be layers.
Do you know what? Genuinely, I have no questions off the back of that. Right, how can we get this funded?
I didn't know the guy was called. This is Fisher Stevens' character, Eugene, isn't it? In the credits, though, he's called the Plague.
That's his hacker name. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I didn't realize it was called Eugene.
Lorraine Bracco dismissively goes Eugene twice in the thing. It's like, my name is the Plague.
How did I miss that? Yeah, I picked up on the skateboarding limo bit. I want to talk about later.
100%.
I didn't want to. If somebody's done a version in the thing, I don't want to spoil it for them. You see, that's why. I'm sure somebody will have done. No questions. Then we'll move on. Beth, it's your turn for your prequel.
Excited.
Cool. Right, yeah. Eugene is fresh out of MIT, and he's a young, idealistic skateboarder guy who's done quite well for himself. Was gonna sort of follow the arts, but decided to go and follow his heart and into computers. To try and become part of a graphics team that was going to go and create computers that were going to change the world for the good. He was going to be Tim Apple. He was going to be Steve Jobs. He was going to be Bill Gates. He was in with all of those guys. But he gets headhunted by Solomon Brothers, the investment bank on Wall Street, who go and bring him in and entice him with lots of money, forcing him to try and choose between his idealism and going for the money. And he decides to go for the money and goes for it, gets promoted, becomes the head of all of their organization until one day an 8-year-old kid hacks in and destroys all of their computers, leaving him completely bankrupted, lost from his job, can't manage to get anything else from there, and decides, do you know what? If I was gonna go for the money in the first place. Now I'm really gonna go for it. And he decides to hatch a plan to bring down the largest oil company in the world, Allenson Minerals.
Nice.
Okay, right then. So Eddie and Nat, you can ask a question for Beth's pitch there.
I have two, and they're completely different, and I don't know which one to ask.
You can ask both.
I didn't ask one, so you can ask both.
Yeah, you can ask both. It's in the rules.
You can have mine from the previous one that I should have asked.
Thank you.
Are we allowed to pass questions, though? Let me just check.
I'll gratefully receive your question.
Yeah, we are.
And take it. So I'll ask one, and Eddie can ask one, then I'll ask another, so it's not a bit weird. Okay, so the first thing
you just made it weird. You just made it weird by saying that.
Made it awkward.
You're working. Go on.
So what art was he into? Because I look at him and think he looks like a fine art student, but actually was it more anarchic? What sort of art was he doing?
Well, I think he sort of majored in computer science with fine art, because that's why he goes for the Da Vinci as the name of the virus. He sees himself as Leonardo da Vinci of this of computers, and so he was working with. He was working with Apple when he sort of he came up with the idea for a computer mouse, and then Wozniak stole it off him, and then Bill Gates went and got in there, and he was the one who came up with the ideas of Windows, and he was thinking about how things should look on the screen rather than necessarily how you would go and build those things. So I think he comes from more of a fine art sort of background.
Amazing. Yeah, I got that vibe too.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes. So how much deliberation is there?
Here we go.
How much deliberation is there when he's choosing between the money and his sort of is this a long dark night of the soul? Is he because obviously basically he goes full money bastard. So
yeah, to do this, you need to have the father angle, that his dad really his dad's a union guy. His dad's like Martin Sheen in Wall Street. His dad sort of like works for the union, and it's constantly sort of like, no, we must try and be fair in the world. The world is general. His father believes in fairness throughout the world, and that good people will generally get what's due to them, only to end up with his son going and doing this and having his entire world view destroyed by the realization that a 22-year-old straight out of university can earn $125,000 in a year in 1984 just by pushing other people's money around to no fucking end whatsoever. I kind of like that idea of him going and working in the bank and his dad slowly sort of discovering this, and him sort of going towards this thing of completely moving away from what his parents want, and reversing the whole idea of what parents want, because his dad's sort of like of that sort of hippie generation who've just come through the 60s, who are just like, no, you don't want to go off and do, you need to be, we changed the world for you, you don't need to be going off and making money, that's ridiculous. But he goes, no, I'm off to make the money, I'm after the cash.
No, Dad, I don't want to live in a Bruce Springsteen song. That's your life.
Yeah. That sort of thing. Cool. That's what I say.
Yeah.
That's
all right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
cool.
Just a very brief question. What happens to the 8-year-old? Is he ground under the heel of capitalism and finding an inordinate amount of money and not allowed to touch tech or look at tech or kiss tech or be in the same room as tech?
Until his 18th birthday.
Or is he let free to skip through the fields?
Yeah, no. It is. It's
Dade, isn't it?
It's Dade. Yeah. It's Dade's backstory as well. It's the first time that their paths cross. Crisscross.
All right, cool. So that's all the questions. That's all the prequels. So it's time to pick it to vote for a winner. I'll give you a quick recap on this. I must say they're a bit technical these ones this week, so I'll try my best. Okay, so you can vote if you're watching along. You can play along at home. Put your vote in the chat, and we'll top that up in a minute and see what we've got. We all get one vote in the room as well. I'll give you a quick recap though. So prequels for Hackers. Eddie's was Razor and Blade. Right, it opens up and they're in a room, and a floppy disk is thrown across the room, and it lands in a nerd's computer, and it says on the screen, "You sniff butts." Okay. So Razor and Blade are hacking stuff. The brothers, we don't know if that's canon or not, but it doesn't matter, I guess. Discovered by the father, who ends up by hammering on the table and saying, "Hack the planet." Is that right?
Yeah. Saying you can't. You need to work harder. You can't get everything for free. You can't just hack the planet.
Got it.
The late stage, right? Once I've been informed of my
grief
error.
All right.
I might get it wrong. But hack the planet, and then they go, "Oh, maybe we can," and then they become the Razor and Blade.
Lovely. Okay, Nats was Hal wants it all. He starts doing Derren Brown stuff on Eugene. Eugene thinks he comes up with hacking. I don't know what I've done here. Where were the gummy worms?
Right, let me.
I'll I messed up the gummy worm bit.
No, it's fine. So Hal's character makes Eugene think that he came up with the idea to hack Ellison and blame it on hackers by leaving subliminal messages about worms around. Then he also subliminally gets the young Joey to tap into Ellingson and set off the chain reaction where he knows eventually Eugene will lose his job and he can get promoted. That's it, right? I couldn't get all that down. That's cool. Beth's was Eugene's fresh out of MIT. His heart's into computing, graphics, and he's also a skateboarder.
Absolutely.
Skateboarder. He gets headhunted by the Solomon brothers, and he's trying to decide whether to go after the money or not. He gets promoted to the head of every department in the company, works his way at the top, but then he's earning like loads of money. Then an 8-year-old hacker hacks in and leaves him completely bankrupt, down and out. So he plans to bring down the biggest oil company, which leads into the Hackers film, I think. Right. Okay. Lovely. So we can all vote. We get one vote each in the room. You can't vote for your own. And then we'll look at the comments as well in a minute. So what do we think? Well, I'm just going to throw it out there. Edward, you would have been in the running.
You would have been in the running until you said the line, and I quote, I wrote this down, Jedward, they'll be in it. And then I immediately thought, even though I hadn't heard anyone else's pitch, including my own at that point, I wasn't going to vote for you. So sorry about that, Eddie.
Jedward are at the forefront of the fight against international fascism at the moment, Natalie. I won't have anything said against them.
So you're not voting?
I'm not voting for Eddie. No, Eddie's not getting my vote because of Jedward.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Lou, are you voting for them?
You?
I know. I've got to check, and I've got to check. I'm trying to think here.
I'm going to vote for Beth because I like the aspect of Dade and Eugene already being intertwined as nemeses before the first one. Crisscross. Yeah, that's what I like to see. So, I like that aspect, and seeing what turned Eugene from what we can assume was probably a perfectly pleasant person into a sort of ruthless money bastard. I like that.
Yeah, absolute money bastard.
Yeah, okay.
I just like the idea of finding out what Hal was up to. I like the idea of Hal as Darren Brown, so I'm just going to go for that one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Hal one as well. I wanted to see more of him. I wanted to see more of his character. I thought straight away, why was he not in it long enough? So that would answer my burning desire to see more of his character, I guess.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah, Hal the movie. Right then, let's have a look on the votes. And here we go. Big team, close call. Beth almost. Special as loves this film so much, but going for Nat. Also, when shops over, you can take Loch Ness DVD whenever I see it. It's not something clean it. It's a Loch Ness themed party.
Thank you, big team, for two things: one, the vote, and two, the tip. I appreciate that.
Martin.
Thank you, Martin.
Nat again. Even after I messed up your prequel by trying to recap it when I haven't wrote anything down. Terry, Beth.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah.
Oh, it's a close call. Any more votes? We're going to have to close it off. Any second? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Nat, you won by one vote that round.
Oh, that was a close one.
But don't worry, everybody. It's all to play for still this season. There's two rounds left. That was just the warm up. Don't worry. We'll move straight on to the sequels.
No one gets excited about prequels anyway. Come on, guys.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. When has that ever happened?
Exactly. Right then. So we'll mix it up a bit. So Nat, you'll be going first this time, please.
Okay.
For your sequel, fire away whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I've based mine on Matthew Lillard's character, Emmanuel. Okay, and immediately after he's hacked into that TV station and told the world what's going on. So, flush from his TV success, Emmanuel gets a taste for performing, and he starts his own hacker TV channel called Gurning Hacks, because no matter which movie universe he's in, he can't control his face. We all know this. Of course, he has no money, so to get his program out there, he starts to hack and take over other shows like Oprah Winfrey and Jerry Springer. Oprah and Jerry are fuming about this and decide to fix the problem by hiring a team of crack commandos. The only ones they could find are the A-team, so they go with them. And they decide to put him out of action. This, the A-team do by making their own TV studio out of a cardboard box full of Lego and explosives. They hack Emmanuel's TV show. They block his signal. And Emmanuel, so impressed and awed by what he has seen, decides to leave his TV career behind and join the A-team. And that's my sequel.
Okay. Right.
Wow.
Where are you getting these names from? Did they call him Emmanuel in the film as well? Have I missed that as well?
Emmanuel Goldstein is his name, which is the name of the enemy of the state from 1984, the book by George Orwell.
Did he have a code name then, Serial?
Yeah, Serial Killer.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I wrote down all the code names. Every time you mention a name, I'm like, who the fuck's that? Right, okay. I went big code names. Right, no worries. Okay, cool. So Beth and Eddie, you can ask Nat a question.
When Nikon introduces him, it was Phantom Freak introduces him. He says, "Oh, this is serial killer, as in Fruit Loops."
I should watch this again, because for some bizarre reason I missed all the dialogue. Maybe I was just enjoying the visuals.
It's a good film.
You were clearly in such a state of childlike awe that just details just flew straight past you as you tried to absorb the bigger picture. It's incredible.
I like, when it kept showing the big circuit board things and all the build. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
It's really good. Yeah,
it's good.
They do some great visualization. They do some fucking shocking visualization as well, later on. But quite a lot of it is really, really well done.
Yeah,
I like the sort of the Max Headroom style Da Vinci Man, the man in the circle with the curly hair and stuff.
Vitruvian Man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, that one. It's just a man with gold paint on his face, like Sylvester McCoy at the beginning of Doctor Who.
Did anybody notice when they went running into the club about 2/3 of the way through the movie, the person who was dancing in the silver with the chandelier thing on?
Yeah.
Made my day.
Yeah, it was good. That
it's fantastic. Yeah, going into one of New York's gay clubs at the time, it's like one of the places where all the ballroom scene sort of was sort of fading, and you see quite a lot of the New York club kids at the time, people who would have hung around with people like Michael Alec, who was the guy who killed a guy called Angel, who was who was played by Macaulay Culkin in the movie Party Monster. It's quite a lot of the people who hung around there were brought in for those scenes. It's it's fantastic.
Wow, cool.
Love it.
Cool.
There's some real statements of intent.
I noticed that. I probably missed some other detail while I was looking at the headgear, though, mate. Look, that looks good. What they're talking about, I don't know.
I do know it's great. There's loads of stuff like that. There's loads of nice little details in it. I think visually it's such a fantastic movie. It's
it's much richer than it would appear to be on the surface, because on the surface it just appears to be sort of like, mainframe, password, quickly, locked me out, back door, and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
but there's
Lorraine Bracco's character in that is literally to be us, who just repeats things so that they can explain it to her.
That sounds like a character I need, me.
Every single line that she says in it is just to get somebody else to explain part of the plot to her. And it's wonderful. She's just like, what is this? What are we talking about? What? Like cancer? Like brain? Cancer? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you'd think she'd have some knowledge, wouldn't you, working in that environment? She wouldn't be like, what's this? It's a keyboard.
Keyboard?
Yeah, there's an office. I don't usually come down to the shop floor.
Why is he sharing? Why is he sharing $28 million with her? That's the other part of it. Yeah. Why is he doing that?
What's she got on him?
She doesn't appear to know her own business, let alone anyone else's. So, I don't know.
Why?
He's probably not. Did he tell her the right amount? I bet he went, you'll get 2 million billion. Yeah. How much? He's like,
you'll get 2 million. Look at that chandelier.
I'll put it in a bag over there in a minute for you, and then he'll just do a runner with it all. I'm off. I wonder if he had another plane ticket as well at the end, because he was on plane himself, wasn't he? Maybe he had no intention of taking.
I wouldn't surprise me. What a knobhead!
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if he was going to frame her.
At least his choice of disguise was better than Short Circuit.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Anyway, questions for now. Now.
Do you think Fisher Stevens wanted to do? I want to do a film about technology that puts me in the right side of history, thanks.
There's an interview with him on YouTube of him going, no, I absolutely would not accept that role today. Which is good, it's a good thing for him to go, I wouldn't do that.
I think, there was, and he said, I went to India for 6 weeks and just hung around with people, tried to check it all out. I go, and that was still the best accent you could manage. You'd never met anyone from India before, but come on.
We did Super Mario Brothers, didn't we, on this show as well? And he was in that as well. It's like,
Oh, he was Ziggy. Yeah,
Ziggy.
I forget that. Yeah.
Same haircut.
Because Yeah, because there's like the script. Like I'm sure you went over that in the Super Mario Brothers thing, but the idea that there was originally a script that was written by the guy who wrote Rain Man that was about Mario and Luigi as essentially a road trip between two brothers, and yeah, they tried to write for Super Mario, and I was like, that's the film I want to see. And then they went and got Ed Solomon in, who did Bill and Ted, and like he wrote half of it, and then they went and just handed it off to a committee. So it's probably one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah, other than Howard the Duck.
We've done that one too. But someone really wanted to do like a sort of a Blade Runner kind of film, and so they sort of went, well, I'll just do that in Super Mario Brothers. So that's why it's got this weird cyberpunk thing to it. Yeah. It's just the whole thing's insane. But yes.
Right then, let's keep going. So Nat, any questions for Nats?
Hang on.
Forgot where it was
now. Which A team would you be going with? Classic A team or the Liam Neeson one?
No, it's classic. It's got to be classic A team, hasn't it? Nobody could be Hannibal. Like, is it George Peppard? Could be Hannibal. Like, no, it's got to be classic A team. I'll even throw in Amy. Like, yeah.
I was going to say, which
could replace Amy? I think that would be interesting.
All right. My question is, if we're going to have the A-Team in it, can we have my favourite A-Team scene recreated, which is when Boy George appears for no reason and Mr. T goes, Boy George, my man.
I'm assuming that he would be the one helping them put together their own hacker studio out of explosives and Lego. That's what I just thought was going to happen.
He just turns up with a bag of Lego.
He turns up with a bag of Lego and some super glue and some wires and some
because
wood.
He's on his way to make a new hat, but decides to donate it.
Yes.
And a set of handcuffs. He's quite good with them, Boy George.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Allegedly. No, not allegedly. No, he was actually convicted, wasn't he? So I don't have to qualify that.
No.
I don't have to, allegedly. No,
we use that word so much on here, it's probably fine. We've covered so much with the amount of times we said allegedly.
It was every other word when we did Ghost, but that's what happens when... you know.
Oh, dear. Right, okay, cool. That's all the questions then, isn't it? For now. Yep, cool. Okay, Beth, it's your turn then, please, for your sequel.
Right, okay. Yep. It's the year is 2015. It's 20 years after the original. For good behavior, Eugene is being let out of prison. He decides, having done all of this, that money is absolutely useless to him, and money was the thing that went and got him into trouble in the first place. He's decided what would be much better is if he can go and change the course of world politics. And so he goes and gets himself onto a little website called 4chan, where he goes and posts a message claiming to be incredibly high up within the US Secret Service. He is codenamed Q. And he leaves a message saying that Donald Trump has been sent to become president by the Secret Service to try and bring down the deep state and a worldwide cabal of influential pedophiles. That's it's all nonsense, but that's what he decides to go and do. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, Plague is Q.
Right. Okay. So, Eddie and Nat, ask your questions. Go for it.
Excellent. Are we going to be having any cameos from any high-profile Q believers?
Yeah, I reckon so. Because what's Donald Trump doing now? You know, rotting away down at Mar-a-Lago. You know?
Yeah, now we can't even rely on the Home Alone 2 royalty checks because he's been cut out of all subsequent presentations of it.
Absolutely. So yeah, exactly. He's fucked it.
Has he been cut out of Home Alone 2?
There was a.
I thought you were serious then.
No, they were talking like people were saying, "Should we do it?" And other people going, "No," because it's much better to just leave it in rather than edit it out of history. Yeah. It's not like bringing down a statue. You know what I mean? Oh, statue's gone. Can't remember anything that person did. No, but maybe taking them out of the things that they were in to sort of go, listen, this person was an arsehole.
Yeah. Well, maybe just go. I mean, it's impossible to see how he failed with a performance like that.
Yeah.
It was just that decisive stab.
Yeah. At an angry, terrified 10-year-old. Great. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We'd have some cameos from some of the other. I think we'd have some cameos from the other hackers. I still think that the hackers who were involved in that would be part of a resistance. That it would be like various different people rising up and sort of. Emmanuel Goldstein now is working for is now sort of like is part of Antifa and is trying to help organize sort of like online stuff. Whilst I reckon Serial would be like one of the people who's initially really absolutely believing everything that's going on, but is the person who discovers that Eugene is actually Q.
Serial would definitely be down for most conspiracy theories he encounters. I absolutely agree with that.
And I reckon Lord Nikon manages to go and bring him out of his Q hole, and it's from that they manage to start figuring out how they're going to bring him down again.
Excellent.
How far down this rabbit hole then do we go? Do we see him, Eugene, peak, and then serial killer start to work on bringing him down, or is the film going to finish just as he posts that very first anonymous?
No, I think that's going to be like the start of it, and it's going to involve him doing things like hacking voting booths, hacking polling stations, and changing votes for different things, and trying to get behind all of the other stuff, and bringing himself into the middle of power. Him managing to get someone who is essentially Marjorie Taylor Greene, but not really Marjorie Taylor Greene, elected, and it's him who's behind that, and. Because he knows that she's incredibly suggestible and that she will do pretty much anything that he says.
Cool.
Amazing. That's great.
Candidate. Nice.
Excellent. Okay. That's the questions, isn't it? That's it. Right, Eddie, it's your turn, please, for your sequel.
Yeah, I've chosen an Institute of Learning, the exact same as Beth, so look out for it. It's in the first sentence. So my sequel. Dade and Kate have both attended MIT and are back in New York City. One day they're rollerblading, to the max, mind you, in Central Park. And they receive an SMS textual message to their cellular mobile telephone devices. It's only the ruddy, bloody FBCIAI who need their help of acid burn and crash override. Meeting up at a safe house over a dial-up connection with a laptop and a digitizing camera, they discover there's a new cyber threat in town. Y2K. Oh, yeah. The Hack the Planet team are reunited, including Dave Stewart from Eurythmics having a cup of tea by the Thames, and discover that Y2K is a variant bug of the Da Vinci virus, but now it features a biological element. Eugene Belford, known as the Plague, has put himself into the Da Vinci Code, getting him banned from Waterstones and, more importantly, wreaking havoc on the world, the worldwide interweb space. The race is on. The culmination sees our heroes virtually realiticizing themselves into the internet and rollerblading at Belford with an antivirus zapper, which doesn't look anything like Tron now you mention it, and they save the day.
Okay, wow. A lot of info there to take in, but it's fine.
Yeah. There's a lot of very technical jargon. I don't know.
You nearly lost me there, Eddie.
Yeah.
With my handwriting, I nearly lost me. But
Okay, Beth and Nat, you can ask a question. Go for it.
I am immediately excited. Oh, sorry. Go on, Beth. You go first.
No, go on. No, Nat.
I was going to say, I'm immediately excited about the thought of the costume, because if we're seeing them being like, oh, cool, pre-Y2K kids, and then they're going to go into the internet, I want to know what they're going to wear when they go into the internet. That's what I want to know. And who's designing it again?
Who's designing it? Gosh. I think what's going to happen is they're going to sort of, when they're actually in cyberspace, they're going to be... have you seen A Scanner Darkly?
Yes. Rotoscoped.
Rotoscope. It's going to have that kind of thing. They're going to their costumes are going to sort of move backwards and forwards across themselves, going through various periods of high fashion of the sort of the 19th and 20th century. So they're going to go sort of through frock coats, but sort of sparkly, shiny ones with bits of Tron tape all over them, through like flapper skirts, through Mary Quant style stuff, through to sort of, sort of very sort of baggy, flary stuff through the 80s, through the 90s, and it's just going to sort of flow backwards and forwards while they're in there, sort of highlighting a highly technical version of all of the high fashion that's been over the past 150 years or so.
Are you going to throw the Take On Me video in there as well?
Oh, yeah. They're going to be hand-drawn for a brief period as well. Yeah.
Felt like you were going there, so yeah.
Absolutely, no, completely. It's going to have that kind of feel to it, and and it's going to have that Scanner Darkly rotoscoping kind of vibe to it. When they're on the in the cyberspace, when they're in meat space, they're going to. It's just going to be more of what it was before, just sort of more exaggerated. What the people who made this film, presumably making it in 1994, imagined what 1995 would look like. It's going to be what they imagine late 1999 would look like.
Okay.
So amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. That sounds brilliant. So, did you draw much inspiration from the Jeff Fahey and Pierce Brosnan movie, The Lawnmower Man, for your?
Gosh, no, not consciously. Not consciously. But, it may well.
Have you seen The Lawnmower Man, Eddie?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, just checking.
It wasn't what I was thinking.
I love that it has such low stakes. It has such a low stakes end bit of it, where the terrifying thing is that all of the phones on the planet ring at the same time.
Yeah. But who knows what they're going to say on the other end? Nothing. It turns out.
Nothing.
But I think that because they were, they were genuine sort of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds levels family annihilations as a result of Y2K. Apparently, people were genuinely terrified making bunkers and stuff, and all those people who made bunkers they didn't need just went, oh no, actually I am doomsday prepping, thanks. I knew I didn't need it now, but it's now full
and then an apocalyptic virus came along and it was the wrong fucking type of doomsday, so they're now going, no, I know I've got this big fucking bunker, but I refuse to take any precautions whatsoever.
I can't use automatic rifles on a virus. This was
supposed to be it's supposed to kill off almost everyone except me so that I could be your god king. What the fuck has happened?
I wanted to kill people without explaining why. This isn't how it's supposed to go down.
This is a fucking liberty. Yeah.
Got all these Alex Jones vitamins just rotting away.
Do you know what colour nootropics turn your shit after 6 months? Do you?
We all will one day. Those of us smart enough to have planned. But that's my sequel.
Right, nice. Cool. Okay, excellent. Right, that's all the sequels done. So it's time to vote again. I'll give you a quick recap in a sec. So if you're watching along at home, please leave your votes in the comments. We'll get to those in a minute. I'll give you a quick recap. So the sequels, we heard Nat's first. It was Emmanuel, Matthew Lillard's character, Serial. He's had a taste for TV because he did his big speech on the TV at the end of Hackers. So he's got a taste for TV now, and he's gurning because that's what he does best. So he decides to hack other TV shows, Oprah Winfrey, Jerry Springer, stuff like that. Then he gets the A-Team to come along.
No, the Jerry Springer.
Oh, the A-Team, separate thing. Sorry, the A-Team come along as his rival, I guess. And they make their own TV studio out of Lego and dynamite, he said. And then that's all I've got. What happens then?
So essentially, Jerry Springer and Oprah get the A-Team in because they're sick of Matthew hacking them, and they make a rival studio with Boy George apparently now. And Matthew is so impressed that he joins the A-Team and becomes Amy the reporter rather than stay on TV.
That's it, right? Cool. Okay, Beth's was 20 years after the first film, so 2015. We've got it. Eugene's out of prison. Money's useless to him now. Don't know what to do with it, so he decides to change tact and go into politics. He goes on 4chan, the website, and basically invents Q. Oh, his codename's Q, so he starts putting up conspiracy theories, all this stuff that people start believing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Tells everybody about Donald Trump and all the conspiracy, you know, paedophile rings and all that stuff that's all on there. Okay, cool. Right. Eddie's was Dade and Kate. The enrolled at MIT, rollerblading, going all over. They're after MIT. Graduated MIT, sorry.
I mean, the rollerblade not a few years until 1999, so
exactly.
Uneventful college, it's fine.
They get a text from the FBCIAI, is that right?
Yeah.
The only thing I got right.
Secret. Yeah, I'm very impressed.
I had to get that one down. They get a call. They go to a safe house basically, and they find out that this thing's coming called Y2K. So the Hack the Planet team reunite. This is where it goes crazy. Eugene puts himself into the Da Vinci Code. Now, the novel.
No, the Da Vinci was the name of the virus he used.
I know, but I thought you meant it for some reason. I thought, has he got himself in a novel?
Rick, that's what I thought. With it.
I said that he'd put put an organic component into the code of the Da Vinci virus. I said he put himself in the Da Vinci Code, which not only got him banned from Waterstones, but also...
That's why I thought the book.
Yeah.
I knew there was a reason. I wanted to go back.
Having sex with a book joke. It wasn't...
Right.
It was just an
aside. See, you shouldn't say stuff like that. It confuses me. I'm like, how did he get in a book?
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that's where you were going. Maybe, I don't know. I thought he'd shrunk himself down and gone inside the book. Or
that's because everything is in a space. That's why
it is. Yeah. And then it turns into a big Tron rip-off. Yours.
What? I never said that. Yeah. Sort of. Yeah.
Okay, and there's Lawnmower Man thrown in there as well. Right then, it's time to vote for your favourite online, and we'll deal with that in a sec. Some good ones there. Right, what are we going for? What are we going for? Let's vote in the room.
This is tricky now.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Nat for this one. I think it would be exciting. And also Eugene is super fun, so have more of Eugene.
I'll go on, sorry.
So I'm gonna go for Eddie's because I really want to see the Millennium Bug. I really want to see them dancing through cyberspace throughout 150 years of cyberspace, apparently.
I forgot about that, but that did sound good.
150 years of VR cyberspace. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Do
you know what?
I'm going for Eddie.
Me as well. Yeah, I'm going to go for that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I vote Eddie too.
It's there's going to be some great visuals in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, let's have a look online. What we got? We have got. That's from what time now? That's from now. Here we go. Terry, all incredibly good, but how can you compete with the A team?
Thank you, Terry.
I mean,
you're right, Terry.
The A-team building Lego does just sound like the A-team aren't getting any work due to lockdown and they're doing their own streaming.
Is it like A-team kids, A-team babies or something?
Yeah.
I ain't building no plane, fool.
And Mad Murdoch will just be eating the bricks.
Yeah, eating the bricks, tearing up the instructions, whatever,
wearing them as a hat. Right, okay.
It'll be fun.
Now, long as it has A-team scene where they had a helicopter chase and bad guy helicopter crashing into the side of a cliff, explodes, drops to the ground, explodes again, and bad guys walk away coughing.
Yes, absolutely. No bad guys are killed in the making of this film. Yes, we'll have a helicopter crash with that for you.
We've got a message about me not listening, but we'll avoid that. Martin, vote for Eddie. Ooh!
It's kicking off.
That has just scraped Eddie through there in that round.
Oh,
well done, Eddie. Right, okay. So, Nat won the first round there. Eddie won the second. It's still all to play for tonight. It's still all to play for.
This is rubbish. This is nonsense. I've had enough of this.
It won't be the first time somebody's left before the requels. It would. It'd be the first time anybody's walked away.
I was going to say, it's been fairly good-natured as far as I remember. But
you could always pull the plug. You know what I mean? When because we're live, I think about that sometimes when I'm doing something. I could just pull. You know, when you go on these like things, like Zoom chats and stuff, and you think, how do I get out of here? And then you just think, I can just pull it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but don't do that.
I mean, it's a lot safer than the driving home from a gig and going, I could just drive into oncoming traffic. You know, it's that sort of, just end it all right now. You know, it's like that sort of thing, but really low risk. I like it.
Right, cool.
Never suspect I'm about to punch his face. What? I don't want to hit people.
Yeah. Oh.
Right, okay. Requel time, and let's do it. Okay, Beth, it'll be your turn first. This one.
Right, for the reboot.
Yeah, the reboot. So remake, anything you want to do with it? Remake.
I would do a remake. I'd do it now because one of the things that I think is really sad about the what happened with this film is that it was made in 1995, and 1995 is a really key moment for computer tech, and it's really unfortunate they built it then because that was the point at which the internet sort of exploded. That was the point at which the internet became common knowledge, right? And so, like, with it being made in 1995, there's a scene in the middle of the film which anyone who's seen it will remember because it is
except Chris.
Everyone laughs. No, Chris will remember it because like even Chris will remember this because everyone laughs when they're like, "Oh my god, it's got a 28.8 BPS modem, and it's got like a Pentium 2 processor, and like all this stuff where they're all like foaming their pants over this fucking laptop that's obviously dog shit, right? And going, oh my god, this is the best like laptop that's ever existed, and the thing was, if they'd have made it in any other year than 1995, they could have kind of got away with whatever it was being cutting edge for the time. But the 28.8 BPS modem was only cutting edge in 1995. When the film came out, it was already out of date. 56.6 was already standard, right? So there's so much stuff about it that really doesn't work. And I think they made a lot of visual choices that really paid off, but a whole bunch of the stuff that they did with like how coding works and how viruses work, that they were like, how do we make this filmic, really doesn't work, and didn't at the time. I remember being in the pictures and watching it, and everyone in the room laughed when they were talking about how good the specs were on the computer. Like that's how quickly it went out of date. So what I would like to do, I think like you could do it pretty much with the exact same plot that it has now, just take some of those bits out of it. I would go with Jedward as Razor and Blade.
Oh yeah.
As we were talking about earlier, I mean, you have to have some spooky twins. That is exactly who you need for that role.
Yeah.
I would, in the ways that I would update it, I would probably make it about, again, just instead of like hacking an oil company and threatening to destroy the planet, I think it would be much better if they did like an NFT or Bitcoin scam, just to go and break that down at the same time as whoever it is who's playing the Fisher Stevens character has gone and set up this whole bunch of Bitcoins that are about to go and make him a multi-billionaire. But at the same time, in order to do that, the blockchain is going to generate more electricity than the entire planet can manage to cope with. If he manages to get away with that. So they end up having to hack in and break the blockchain down and stop it from being able to work, moving everything off the BTC and off the Ethereum chains. That's where I would go with that. I would have it as an explainer about how you could manage to tank an entire economy or tank the whole world economy. That's what I would do with this. But other than that, I would stay pretty true to the original, that it would be a kid who was done for hacking, who wasn't allowed to touch a computer until his 18th birthday, who goes and falls in with a group of hackers at not at school. I'd do it over the internet. I'd do all of that stuff on the internet at that point. And they would have like unique enough names that they didn't have to have a series of 8 digits after it in order to get their name put on their name put onto any social media sort of website. I think that's where I would go with a requel of that, with a reboot of it.
Okay.
Who are casting? Who are casting in this? Is it going to be the original cast? Are you going to?
No, I think you'd have the original cast sort of turn up in little cameos, maybe one or two of the original cast, not doing the full, Ghostbusters. But I'd have like one or two of the original cast in it. I would go and cast Zendaya in the Kate Libby role, and I would probably cast, I don't know who young people are anymore, so anyone who I suggest is probably about in their mid-30s, and I'd be going, yeah, let's cast them as an 18-year-old. Timothy Chalamet, is he like older? I don't know. I
always get out of this by just saying, oh, who's that one from Stranger Things? No, not that one. Not that one. Just
that one. Yeah. Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah,
Finn Wolfhard would probably be a good one, wouldn't he? To be the main character. Opposite Zendaya. I think that would be. Or is he the one who's got like really weird looking now that he's gone through puberty? I don't know, because there's one of them out of Stranger Things that they went. It's the one out, like, because often what happens with child stars is they go, this kid looks really cute but has quite an adult face, and then they go through puberty and they have that horrific thing where it just goes in the opposite direction. You go, holy shit, how are you an adult with a child's face? What the fuck has happened here? That sort of thing. But there's one of them out of Stranger Things who's like gone a bit odd looking. Not that one, the other one.
The other one.
There you go.
The odd one from
the one that look odd out of Stranger Things. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Cool. Eddie, have you got a question?
I suppose the soundtrack's a huge part of Hackers. There's some really sort of seminal stuff, really sort of top examples of the genres that it contains. So what sort of is the equivalent? Are we talking, I was about to say Skrillex, as if that was...
Yeah, I was going to say Skrillex, because I'm very old, and I know who Skrillex is.
What's Skrillex up to these days?
What is a Skrillex? Because the only other one, I'd put like a load of fucking Billie Eilish on the soundtrack, because that's that's who I'm into. That's my connection with the music of the youth.
I know the Interrupters covered one of her songs, so that's as close as I get.
Yeah. I would get Billie Eilish in to do the entire soundtrack. That would be my move on that. And because I think she's fucking fantastic. I think she's wonderful, and also I think that her music would work really well alongside that. Yeah. Maybe with a couple of like classic hip hop tracks thrown in as well.
Yeah,
from Wu-Tang Clan.
Like get some 36 Chambers sort of era, and then it's like and then like the kids in it can be like, hey, who's playing the classical music, old man? And you're like,
Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize, stuff like that going on in the back.
Be great. I was playing Cream, and then they all skitted me for being old.
Old school. That's what you need. Some old school stuff.
Yeah.
Old school.
All right. Cool. Okie doke. Right. Eddie, it's your turn, please, for your requel. What are you going to do?
Yes. I'm sort of doing a remaster, so I'm not remaking it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the original film and we're going to treat it, and I'm going to do a sort of
do a Zack Snyder cut, are you?
I'm gonna do a Zack Snyder cut. I'm gonna be very, very sad, and then I'm gonna add more. I've not watched it yet, and because I'm actually, kind of like the Justice League, so I'm not going to watch it. But anyway, I just haven't got around to seeing it yet. The Justice League. Yeah, I haven't got around to seeing it yet. So, but anyway, no, I'm going to make the gimmicky edition. So I'm going to throw every cheap cinematic trick at it and a few more. So I'm going to make it 3D for a start. I'm going to give you a choice of the high-tech shades version of 3D or the red and green like you used to get in
like Jaws 3.
Jaws 3, so you can have either one of those, and also I'm going to make it interactive because like in the feature-length Kimmy Schmidt and that episode of Black Mirror, you're actually going to get an app on your phone, and anytime they do some hacking, you have to complete a hacking mini game, or it locks you out of the next bit of the film. And you have to start watching it again, and so you.
Genius.
Join in with the film with your little with your app that you get on your phone. So, but it's going to have the same sort of crazy graphics that are clearly unnecessary when you're hacking, because it's presumably just lines of code that are, rather than having sort of mad stuff going on. But you get all of that on your phone, and you need to pass the test to get to the next scene, or the DVD won't skip to that next chapter till you've input.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, questions then for Eddie there? Fire away.
Yeah, I would like to know if there's at any point going to be any scenes of anybody frantically tapping away at keyboards while sweating and shouting things to other hackers who are trying to hack them, which is clearly not how it works.
Yeah, when they're all stood in different phone booths. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Is that all you've got? Is that all you've got? Come at me!" I want to know if that's going to happen, or I'm not voting for you.
Yeah,
I'm going to. Depending on how quickly and efficiently you hack, the sweatier and shoutier those scenes will be. So they're going to have like more pencils just sticking out of their mouths. So like one is just one bit across. Like
2 pencils sticking out.
Like 2 pencils
one out of each side.
And then just a whole pencil case just hanging out of their mouth. Yeah, behind the ears, up the nose. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's just going to be so. Yeah, so the more intensely you can perform the app task, the more intense a scene you get immediately after it. So my answer to you, Nat, is it's up to you whether you get those scenes. You got to get good. All the Twitches.
A lot of pressure on the viewer, but I'll try it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that kind of covers my question as well. The second time I've just gone, I've got absolutely no question. Like,
I've got to say, it's a pretty solid idea, is that? I've got to say it.
Let's throw money at this. Let's get onto Netflix. Let's have a chat with Netflix, see if they want to do it.
All I'm asking is £100,000 for 20% of the idea.
I've heard all your ideas. I'll throw them out. I've got to be
fair enough.
Right then, Nat, it's your turn for your prequel.
All right, so the entire time I was watching this, every time Matthew Lillard's lovely face popped up, I just thought about Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. So I am going to reboot this as a Scooby-Doo mystery. So I want, obviously, Emmanuel, serial killer, he's going to be Shaggy in it, and Scooby's going to be a CGI dog, as usual. Angelina is going to be Fred. So Angelina Jolie is reprising a role, but she's going to be as Fred. We've got Roman. I can't remember Roman's hacker name. He's going to be Velma. And then, thank you. Yeah. And then we've got, what's his name again? Oh, the young one who starts it all off, Joey. He's going to be Daphne. And I instead of furious typing scenes, which I am a fan of, as I've just told you, instead I want the classic ghost corridor scene. You know, like in Scooby-Doo, when you see the long corridor and then the ghost is chasing them in and out of doors, and they're going, they run across this way, and then they run back across this way, and then they're chasing the ghost, and then the ghost having a cup of tea, and then I want one of those scenes in it. I want a foggy night in it. I want abandoned theme parks. I want at the end the old man Eugene to get caught in the abandoned theme park, and when they rip off his mask, they reveal it's Johnny Lee Miller's dad enacting revenge for the fact that his brat of a son cost him $48 billion at the beginning of the movie when he hacked into a computer system and they got fined in court. So that's the idea. Is it's a dad revenge story played through a Scooby-Doo plot with the whole gang and the mystery machine instead of skateboards and rollerblades.
Gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
My question is, where'd they get the dog?
Well, he's just going to be in it from the beginning because it's CGI and it's Scooby, and you can't have Shaggy without Scooby.
No, it's true.
You obviously feel very passionate about this idea.
CGI Scooby. Well, yeah, you were saying.
Sorry, there was a series of Scooby-Doo. I'm absolutely certain I remember this, where it was just Scooby, Shaggy, and Velma. Fred and Daphne were just AOL.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. They were AOL. They were America Online.
They were America Online. Clearly, this hackers has got into my brain, and now I can't say AWOL. They were AOL. 10 free hours of internet on this CD. I love the idea of 10 hours of internet. It's just it's not done in that's not the unit it's measured in anymore. It's now gigabytes and stuff, but it used to be measured in time.
Downloading the Phantom Menace trailer to watch.
Only 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah,
only 2 hours. I'll be able to see it at standard definition.
You kids out there don't know you were born watching this.
It took 15 minutes to get Lois Lane wrapped in that cape.
Oh, I mean, you wouldn't be able to stream like this back then, would you? Right, okay.
Hang on, I've got a question.
Oh, sorry.
Right? So you've got you got Kate as Fred, and you've got Joey as Daphne. So is Angelina Jolie desperately going to be trying to fuck the little lad in this?
Yeah.
Is that what they're going to be going? They're going to be disappearing off and going, oh yeah, no, we'll go over there on our own. Like, so she's clearly trying to seduce him. Is she trying to seduce him? Is what I mean.
No, because I think that her character lends herself to being. I hate the word woke because I think it's overused now and just doesn't mean what it used to mean. But her character in it is pretty woke. So I think that the reason I've cast her as a Fred rather than as a traditional Daphne is that she can bring more of a like that gender flip to the role, but also show that as a woman she can play a man who can respect women. And
fantastic.
No means no.
I respect that. I watched the Dolly Parton Sylvester Stallone vehicle Rhinestone last week, which is a gender flipped version of My Fair Lady, where Dolly plays the Rex Harrison role and Sylvester is Audrey Hepburn. And so I'm totally in for that right now.
Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the questions. That's the rounds. That's the Requel. So it's time to vote. Let me give you a quick recap. Vote online, obviously. Put in your comments, you vote, and we'll do a quick recap for you. Here we go. So, best Requel. Basically, it's a remake. Loves the film, obviously. Going to remake it, update some of the visuals, and also. Jedward's going to be playing Razor and Blade in this version. There's going to be an update to the plot. It's going to be an NFT or Bitcoin scam. Okay.
Yeah.
Then something about blockchain, breaking a blockchain, which I've no idea what that means. I'll be honest, I'm not going to lie. I could lie and go, yeah, there's going to be a blockchain breakage in there, guys.
Yeah, very few people do understand it. That's what they fucking rely on. Bitcoin and pyramid.
Okay. I assume that all I could see were the chain chomps from Super Mario.
Yeah.
That's all I got in my head.
And then the bullet just comes in as well. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right, okay. There's going to be cameos from all the original cast in there as well. Okay, that was it, wasn't it? That was pretty much.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah,
pretty much it. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm leaving this game with 0 points, which is good.
It's not over yet. Don't you wait. It's all to play for still. I always say it's all to play for. Eddie's was a remaster. Fine. It's called.
You arseholes watching this, voting, going, oh, do you know what? Yeah, no, I'm sure she'll manage to keep up good ideas to the end. We'll go with that. No, I used both my good ideas in the first two.
It's not over now. It's not over yet. Don't worry, we'll get there. Right, Eddie's was the remaster. It's called the Gimmicky Edition, which I assume will be on the Blu-ray box at the top.
Oh yeah.
All those editions. They're just admitting it's a gimmick, right? 3D version. You get shades, or you get the old red and green ones, glasses. It's interactive, and you've got a complete mini hacks as you're watching the film to unlock the next bit of the film. It's a good idea, that, I've got to say. I don't usually say it's a good idea as I'm doing the recaps, but I will do that time. I'm usually impartial to the end. You know. It's a reboot as a Scooby-Doo episode that she got very passionate about. Angelina Jolie's playing Fred. What's it called? Freak.
What?
Oh,
what's the guy called? Freaky or something?
You've got Angelina Jolie as Fred. You've got Joey as Daphne.
Phantom Freak, sorry, as Velma. Joey as Daphne, and then
Ramon is Velma.
Yeah, there's going to be Door Chase, that famous thing where they go.
Yeah, I love that. It's my favourite cartoons.
Foggy Nights, and then the revenge. It's a revenge movie. The old man at the end, who usually pull the mask off, turns out to be Johnny Lee Miller's dad.
Yeah,
and it was revenge all along for him hacking it when he was a kid and losing all the money.
Money.
What was revenge? all along.
Yes, exactly. Right then, so let's get some votes in. Vote online. We'll have a look at those in a sec. Let's vote in the room.
Now, I know that Eddie's has an interactive game thingy, but as somebody who doesn't play any computer games whatsoever, I wouldn't be able to watch past the first 10 minutes because I would be locked out.
It's not for you.
It's not for you. So I'm not voting for you.
It's not for you, this film.
I'm voting for Beth.
Oh,
fucking pandering. Yeah.
No, I'm voting for Beth as well because
it would not. I would be kicked out after 10 minutes. Eddie's would. I'd be like, oh, on my phone, and then it would be like, nah, you're a loser. So
I mean,
yeah.
it probably wouldn't be any more difficult than Angry Birds, but or Candy Crush or something really. But that's for other people to decide. I'm not the tech department. I'm going to vote for Beth because I agree. This film, the plot could easily be adapted into something such as Bitcoin style things and stuff like that. Very, very easy to transfer that and the character arcs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think a cyber heist kind of thing is we could all enjoy one of those.
Yeah, I think that's what we need now. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to vote for Eddie's just because I really like the choose your own adventure style thing for it.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
I've got to say, I was going to vote for Beth as well for the very reason that the film could be updated to a modern audience. You're right, but I'm going to have to vote for Eddie's. He got me with that interactive idea. I'm sorry. You got me with that. You bugger. You got me with it.
The heart wants what it wants, Chris.
It does. I've got to be honest. If you'd have thrown a Police Academy character in there,
do you know what? No one tried
Which
the
one?
low blow.
Tackleberry.
Tackleberry. If you had Tackleberry in yours, little pointer for next time. Think about those Police Academy placements.
A bit of Hightower, a bit of Moses Hightower.
Oh, any of them. Honestly, any of them. Even the ones that were in one of the movies, I'd still got.
Chris will even have that guy who replaced Gutenberg.
Yeah. Do you know what? Gutenberg would quite happily come back to play Mahoney now, I reckon, because he's doing cameos for like $20, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So, absolutely.
Well,
let's have a look online at the votes. It's not over yet. Wait a minute. Big team more. Beth. Only if Jedward are both hospitalised due to trying to...
I agree with that, Big team more. I agree. I forgot about Jedward.
I mean... over the past few years, since Jed would have been famous, there have been genuinely worse people than a pair of overexcited Irish twins.
It was nearly Beth and Jed would happen. Your own fault. It was going to be great. Oh, Eddie. It's neck and neck, this. Wait a minute.
Oh, God.
Have we got any more votes? One more vote. We'll do this. Is there any more votes?
They're not. Are they tied?
They are tied.
Come on, people. Who's watching?
There are people watching, but people are reluctant to vote sometimes. I think they don't want the name on the screen.
Lurkers.
I know. Lurkers. Any more votes? We're going to have to close it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're done. It's a draw, Beth and Eddie.
What?
I know. So... let's have a look here then. We'll do some quick calculating of the rounds. Just while I change the banner, that's all I'm doing. There we go. Right then. So with Eddie won the middle round and he won the joint with the end round. So Eddie, you're our overall winner this evening. Well done, sir.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Round of applause. Well done.
Congratulations.
You haven't won one in a while, to be honest. So that's quite nice for you.
Yeah, well done.
I'm fairly certain I've won one more recently than you're giving me credit for.
No, it was like Santa Claus the movie, man. You were way back there.
There must have been one. Maybe you're right. Anyway, I'm very pleased either way.
I'll have a look through and tell you. Right then, cool. So that's the end of the show this evening. First of all, a massive thank you to Bethany Black for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It was cracking. Well done. Thank you.
I've really enjoyed this.
Excellent, and we'll have to sort that.
I didn't mean to sound surprised, but you know,
I actually enjoyed this. I thought it was going to be shite.
Well, when you said, really? Oh no, actually, no, it's been lovely. I've really enjoyed this.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to talk about a film that I seem to like more than anyone else on the planet.
It was cool, but I found my Loch Ness. Hang on.
Oh, here he is. Here he is.
Always keeping it close, aren't you? He doesn't.
Got it here. Got it here. Look at this. Here we go. I told you I'd bring it out. Blu-ray. You get the Blu-ray and you get a DVD just in case you need to watch it.
You do realise you've got to bring Bethany back now just to do this, right?
Yeah. Got to be done. They've never let me do that. I'm so excited about doing that one.
Yeah, come back. We do Loch Ness.
Oh, it's a great film. It's a great film. Anyway, right then, let's
How Loch Ness ended up there.
Exactly.
Any other prequel seems weird, doesn't it? But anyway, that's for another episode.
Let's do some plugging then. Beth, have you got anything you'd like to tell everybody about your Twitch channel or anything like that?
Yeah, I've got a Twitch channel / Bethany Black, BEFFERNIE BLACK. I spelt it that way because it's a long story, but that's essentially it. I worked with a Cockney guy who who had only ever heard my name and never seen it written down, and so wrote it phonetically with 2 F's and an ERNIE at the end.
Right.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. I do a chat show at 2:00 every weekday, a brew and a chat, which is good fun. And then after that, I usually play a bit of Spider-Man at the moment on PS5.
Awesome.
Because I managed to get a PS5, which I was inordinately happy about. I queued for like 7 hours on an online queue to get that. 7 hours. Anyway,
7 hours.
As I recall, you eventually got a PS5.
I did. Yeah. I was hitting refresh, and then it was like, not in stock, not in stock, not in stock. You're in a queue. Your queue will take just over an hour. And I was like, what? And then, it didn't take just over an hour. It took like 6 hours, 7 hours. And then eventually I got in there and I was like, yes. Someone else I was talking to did the exact same thing. By the time they'd got it and put it into their basket, they'd sold out. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Also, I'm doing a show on Friday night. It's on Zoom through. Who's it for? Hang on a second. I should have had this written down.
That's all right. Have a look.
It's for Angel Comedy. I'm doing. It's part of Mental Health Week, and it's called Hot Brain. So it's an hour-long stuff about being autistic and a comedian and having to learn human as a second language.
Cool. Where can people see that then? On
That's what I'm trying to figure out exactly where it is. Oh, for fuck's sake, loads of people. I'm saying this like it's I'm not meaning this, but I've had loads of replies since I went and put it up, so I can't fucking find it on my Twitter. I'm doing that. I'm getting proper old now because when I look at my phone, rather than holding it up like a real human being, I'm now doing that thing that old people do, where you go, hang on, there's someone pass me my readers. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Big picture of my face. Angel Comedy. Oh, for fuck's sake, that's a ridiculously long URL. If you go to my Twitter, it's on my Twitter. I'll retweet it now.
Twitter, and you've got Facebook as well. You've got Facebook page,
for your comedy page, but I don't really go on that very much.
Right.
Twitter and my Twitch are the 2 places where you'll get hold of us.
Awesome, cool, excellent. So check all that out, please. Friday night gig there as well. Nat, have you got anything to plug this week?
No, I've never got anything to plug. Why?
Because you told us once you would do.
I know,
you did. So I ask you every week.
I've just been really busy.
All right. Eddie, what have you got for us this week?
Same as usual. IC News podcast is every Saturday. Sometimes I'm on it. Sometimes Chris is on it. Sometimes we're both on it. Fire Breathing Kittens, a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Occasionally I'm on it, but it's good fun for all the family. And let me see. What else was there?
Discount Comedy Checkout podcast.
Yeah, the Discount Comedy Checkout Improv Show. That podcast goes out every Friday. And there's also a Patreon for that now as well. If you are interested, you can throw us a little bit of money and you'll get extra stuff. Go wherever podcasts are, type Discount Comedy Checkout, you'll find us. And yes, I believe that's it.
Cool. Okay. On behalf of myself, I've got tomorrow. I've got What's the Score on Box Office Radio, my soundtrack show. You can join that. Please send some requests for that if you're watching. I will play them. That's tomorrow at 8:00 on there. Saturday, I've got It's All Geek to Me with Rich and Nathan, the Geek Chat Show. We're doing an Empire Strikes Back retrospective on Saturday for that 8:00. And then Sunday, myself and Natalie, we're doing live commentary for the comedy short film Sugar and Spice, the movie. We're doing that 8:00. You can find that on all our usual things. As for this show, though, that's all we've got time for this week. Thanks so much for joining in with us tonight, everybody on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. It's been great to have you on. Obviously, another big thanks to Bethany Black for joining us. Thank you so much. We've loved having you on. You're welcome back anytime you want.
Fantastic. I would love to come back. We'll do Loch Ness.
Yes, excellent. We'll lock that in.
Magic words. Yep.
We'll lock that in. Next week, I've actually got the next 2 booked in already. We've got next week we're doing Leon, the professional. It's note. And then the week after we've got Tom King on, but he hasn't picked his film yet. So Terry's coming on next week to do Leon, then Tom King week after. So there's some spare weeks after that. Beth, if you want to come back and do a lot of this, we'll talk about that. We'll talk
Love to do that. Love to do that.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Right, on behalf of all of us this evening, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time for another prequel, sequel, requel. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.